Neo, Geo, Neo, Geo. 4 white buttons and 2 joysticks. Neo, Geo, Neo, Geo. Cool red cab and a name that sticks. Neo, Geo, Neo, Geo. 4 white buttons and 2 joysticks. Neo, Geo, Neo, Geo. Cool red cab and a name that sticks.
Another wrestling podcast is excited to have a guest unlike any other. He's a real-life superhero who almost on a daily basis saves princesses, worlds, and entire universes. He is currently training for WWE Tough Enough. Please welcome the one, the only, Keith Apicary. Keith, thanks for joining us. How's everything going?
How's it going? Things are going pretty good on my end. It's very nice to audibly meet you, and thank you for having my sounds on your podcast. My mouth, I should say.
Oh, perfect, Keith. Keith, thanks for joining us. How is everything going today? I mean, it's a big weekend right now. It's WrestleMania weekend. This is your time, right, to shine.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. I love WrestleMania weekend. I actually love Royal Rumble weekend more. That's my favorite of all the pay-per-views. But WrestleMania is like, in my opinion, the relaxation pay-per-view because it's a little, it's less chaotic. But I enjoy the mayhem. So I'm happy this year that they're having the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. That'll be that and the Intercontinental match are going to be my two favorite this year. But yeah, normally I'm like not crazy pumped for WrestleMania. I mean, I'm pumped for any wrestling. Monday Night Raw is awesome and all. But yeah, I just went through my height of excitement a couple months ago.
Now, Keith, do you remember the very first time you watched wrestling?
Yeah, I do. I think it was Saturday night main event or Saturday main event or whatever it was called. I watched it at home in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, at my mom and dad's house, and Andre the Giant was on it, and Hulk Hogan was on it at some point. And I just remember really liking Hulk Hogan, like I would as a young white male. Everyone enjoyed Hulk Hogan. But yeah, then once the Ultimate Warrior joined, is when it blew my mind. I was like, okay, this is something that I will enjoy forever because something about him just. Oh my gosh, my mind exploded. Ultimate Warrior is my absolute favorite. And I know as like a real wrestling fan, so I'm actually like wrestling training now. And I have like some informational knowledge on the inside biz and like technique and stuff. And he wasn't really the best wrestler, but at the same time, I don't think it even mattered if he ever wrestled because him just running around screaming was more entertaining to me than some of the best wrestling and technical wrestling I've ever seen. Something about him, he was just magical.
All right. Now, Keith, is this something you always wanted to do? Did you always want to become a pro wrestler?
No, I didn't always want to become a pro wrestler, but like I'm like a pretty physical kind of guy, and I use all 150 pounds of my body when I'm out in dirt, enjoying life and pursuing things that I do. Like I end up getting like beat up and hurt, and I'm kind of accident prone, so it kind of just makes sense for me to use my muscles and my ability to take a hit and maybe get paid for it at the same time, because right now it's not happening. But it was never really like a goal of mine. I just liked it, and I was just a fan. But it's kind of like got thrown into the wrestling world because I got caught up one time. I was kind of getting to know Dolph Ziggler, and he was just like, he's doing his thing, and he's just being a show-off and talking trash about, every single person in the world besides him. And I just didn't like his attitude. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way, even though I do respect him as an athlete. I think he's one of the best wrestlers that the WWE has. But I just didn't like his attitude. So I called him out in a video, because, videos are what I do. And he actually kind of responded. He actually got into it and responded and was talking trash, so doing back and forth for a little while. And that's what got me caught up in this whole thing. And now I'm kind of like, all right, screw you, Dolph, I'm over you. Done with that. How many times can we make fun of each other if you're not going to get in the ring with me? So now my goal is to just become my WWE superstar. I'm just going to go in from the front door. I'm just going to become a wrestler and take down everybody and show them that Keith Apicary is real, and this 150 pounds of Fatal Fury isn't messing around. I can take down anybody no matter what, because it's actually surprisingly hard to defeat someone of my size, because you can't really get a hold of me because I'm wiry, I'm wiggly, I'm fast, and no one actually really wants to touch me when it comes down to it. I'm training right now. A lot of the people are just afraid to like go up against me. I'm not exactly sure why, but I'm gonna guess it's because I'm ferocious or something.
Well, you just mentioned it, but how's your training going now? You posted your Tough Enough audition video. Are you getting some good training in right now?
I am, and this isn't training with the WWE. I'm doing like some pre-game, if you will. I'm like getting ready before Tough Enough. Because I've heard from WWE that they're gonna pick things up right after WrestleMania, and they're gonna start like doing the real casting. So they're well aware of me, that's for sure. They know me definitely. So I know that they're looking at me. So what I went ahead and did was I started training. I'm training at Knox Pro out in Los Angeles with Rikishi's training school. So I'm like taking bumps like Friday night. I'm really hitting the mat. I'm hitting the ropes. I'm doing hip tosses. I'm taking people down. I'm really like getting in it. So like I'm learning the basics basically, so that when Tough Enough comes around, I'll be ready to go. Because I just want to have a leg up. So it's basically I'm taking the initiative to like really get prepared.
Sure. Now, what do you think qualifies you to be a WWE superstar?
I think it's like no. Well, I just don't think there's anyone like me in the WWE. I can be intense, and I can cut a mean promo, and I can also make people laugh. I can take a bump, and I'm already selling merchandise, so why not just sign me up, And I can do backflips. I'm acrobatic. I can handle myself in the ring, that's for sure. And I think I have the energy and the charisma to do it. It's just a matter of if people actually want to look at my face or not. That's going to be the task right there. That's once I get in front of all those 20,000 people, and if they want to see me, I'm guessing it might because I have a lot of people that watch my videos already, and the people that are rooting for me. So in a way, I feel like I have kind of I'm cheating. I got a game cheating, I'm like I got a secret way in, but it's a matter of the old man at the mansion, 7-year-old dude, if he's gonna want me in there. So we'll see.
Now we watched your video, your music video, WW Keith. And we saw some of your finishing maneuvers, but what would be your finishing move for WWE?
Well, that's the thing. I got 2 ring entrances that I have planned that I think I could do, and I also have multiple finishing moves. Some are just moves, but like every move I do sounds like a finishing move because that's like a big elaborate name, and most of them are like puns. I really like puns, so I'm thinking I might have to modify my Sega side. I'm a big fan of Sega Genesis and everything Sega has ever made. And I have a move called the Sega side. And what I would like it to be is me sort of like a flying elbow off the top rope, but it's like a double flying elbow, or it's just no flying elbows, it's just a flying body, and I jump off blind. It's the whole thing. Like I jump off backwards, kind of like you're committing suicide, and Sega side, but I couldn't really do that in the video because I shot that video at Santino's Brothers, the training school, and they got a pretty low ceiling, so I just had to kind of do like a straight up suicide off of a bridge in that video. But it would be more of a jump or like a backflip, and then land on a guy. But I really like You're in Trouble, and that's because I wear my white tighty whities, and I basically jump up on them on their shoulders and pull them down, and they get a face full of veggie wiener. So I would like that to I feel like anyone who had experienced that would just be done to quit the business. So maybe that would be my finishing move. That's what my finishing move should be. Whatever gets someone to quit wrestling. So eventually I just clear the whole WWE roster and it's just me. That's a real finishing move. But I think if I was to come up with a move like that, it would involve my wiener.
All right. Well,
so,
yeah. We've seen you working with John Morrison too, former WWE superstar John Morrison. What tips did he give you about being a wrestler?
He just said that just never stop, just keep going. Not in the sense that don't stop pursuing your dreams, but in the ring, just keep going, no matter what happens, just don't break, which is a good thing to hear, because you can't like redo it. And like I've been in a lot of like, filming like projects where you can stop and do different takes and stuff like that. But I also come from the documentary world, because my whole thing of how people find out about me was it was a documentary on my life. So everything was kind of real. So kind of just got to combine everything you've ever learned with just keep going. But it does feel weird. It's a whole other world. When you get in the ring, you're like really afraid of actually hurting someone, being that guy who like stinks and no one wants to work with. So you just gotta like be confident and just don't commit. Basically, you gotta just go for it. Because like he had some tips about like how to take bumps and stuff like that, and going off the ropes and like having your body in the right position, because like your ribs can get all bruised up. But mostly it was just like, just keep going, just deliver and be confident and don't half commit. You got to go for it. So that was kind of helpful, because when I first started wrestling, I was like actually afraid to grab a guy and like, take him down, because like, oh man, are you hurt? Because like, look, I mean, if you look at my body and my wrestling outfit, it's pretty intense. Like you can see what I'm working with, and I can do some damage. So I just got to control this machine that I'm riding around in, and make sure I don't hurt anybody.
Well, absolutely, and like we've mentioned before, this isn't your first run-in with WWE superstars. You obviously had some beef with Dolph Ziggler. We don't need to get rehash this whole thing, but just if you had one guess, why do you think he's so jealous of you?
I would think it's because of the infinite knowledge that I have about females and my dance moves. Maybe like I got some dance videos that do pretty well. And he calls himself the show off, but like if I walk into a wedding or I, go into a public event and I start moving, all eyes are on me. It's just the way it is. And like I never attended that. I just like to move to the audio. So it's just kind of like what happens. And I think it might be because like my first or second video when I was like talking trash to him, I showed everyone my victory dance, and that's what I would do once I beat him. And I think that's what did it. He was like, "Oh, dang, Gina, this is not cool. I cannot compete with that." And like, I've never seen Dolph dance, and that's one thing that females are really into is bodily movement. So I think he's just like, because dancing isn't a lot of thing most men do. Is a lot of guys shy away from it. So I think it might have to do with the fact that my body is not rhythmically challenged.
All right, well, Keith, with some current favorite superstars, who are you watching right now? Who's your favorite superstar? Maybe who's your favorite diva wrestling today?
Oh, geez. We'll start with the divas, because ladies first, always. Brie Bella, I gotta say. I know a lot of people, people like Paige, because, she comes from wrestling world, and she's good at working, and she's like, alternative, and she's cool. She's like the nerds kind of like her. But dang, what a woman Brie is. And she's like exceptional in the facial department. And also, I'm a vegetarian, so that kind of helps. That she's like, I don't know if she's vegetarian or not, but she's all about like organic crap and stuff like that. And I just like a woman who's conscious and thinks about the universe and what's the damage that she's doing to it. So that's kind of cool. It makes her like more of a full package, like a woman. So I'd probably say Brie, if she's a babe. And then if she doesn't go for me, he's always her backup twin, Nikki. And I don't think her boyfriend is much competition for me. So I'd say Brie. She's a babe. And she's like freaky. She married Daniel Bryan. Like, he was the vegan Avenger. And he's also like the least like macho wrestler out there. I think of him in a way as a new Macho Man, because he's like the other number one guy, and he's like the fans love him. He's not forced down your throat. So the fact that she went with him and not like some chode, I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely Brie.
Okay, now
and favorite superstar? I mean, I'll try to answer this one quick, because my tongue tends to go on a marathon every time I answer a question. But I would say my favorite superstar, maybe Mid-Chow or Ziggler, but I shouldn't say that out loud, because I'm not a fan of Ziggler. Like, it's like a love-hate relationship. I totally respect him, and I just want to wrestle him. It's more of like a man crush, and I hate that I have that on him. I have a ton of respect for Dolph Ziggler. He's one of the best out there. He's got ragdoll physics. He's great. But also Mid-South or Damien Sandow. He is, those two right now are my favorite.
Okay. Well, you like we've mentioned, it's WrestleMania this weekend. We're gonna get some predictions from you for some of these matches. Are you gonna be at WrestleMania?
I will not be at WrestleMania. I have on this Disney television program that I will be shooting like 7 a.m. Monday morning, so I won't be able to be there. But I really wish I was going to be there. I actually just saw a bunch of the guys, Mizdow, The Miz, and Dolph and his brother last couple of days ago when they were here for Anaheim, because I'm out here in Los Angeles right now training with Rikishi. But I saw them when they were here for one night. So that was cool, but I'm not going to be there. And also, I think WWE doesn't really want me in there because I might be afraid I might just jump in the ring and start messing guys up, because I have a tendency to crash live events of sorts. If you were aware of me before I got involved in the wrestling world, there was many times in the video game world, G4 was a channel that I showed up on TV and they weren't expecting it. Oops. So maybe WWE is aware of that, and they're like, "Well, have you come on when we're ready for you."
All right, well, we're WrestleMania. We're talking WrestleMania. Well, let's get some of your predictions, maybe some of your thoughts about some of these matches happening. Right off the top, let's talk Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. What do you see happening with the Undertaker and Bray Wyatt?
Okay, so this is my prediction. I think a lot of people are going to say the same thing, because last year the world broke in half when Ultimate War. Wait, was it last year, right? When
Yes.
Undertaker lost?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so. It feels like it was longer ago. But yeah, that was insane. And there's talk about how it wasn't like maybe not supposed to happen because it took a minute. Did you guys hear all this talk about how it took a minute for like the 21-0 or whatever? Or no, what was it at the end when he lost? It was like 21-1 or something like that.
He's 21-1 now.
Yeah, so and some people were saying, I mean, this is just conspiracy theory, but people were saying like, oh, that it took a minute for that to come up on the board because they were like having to make that because they think it, and something about the way like he lost, it looked like it wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know if that's true or not, because it seems like this is my prediction. He lost last year to make everyone cry like crazy, and now you really want him to win because everyone loves the Undertaker, so he'll totally win. And that will get Bray Wyatt. Everyone will respect Bray Wyatt a lot more, and he will then replace the Undertaker, because I think this is the Undertaker's last year. I think after this he's going to retire, and he'll go out on the high horse. You know, he'll like win, and then Bray Wyatt will play the role of that type of character, and that's kind of like passing the torch. That's my prediction.
Okay, now Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
Who cares? Boring. I honestly have no interest in that match at all. I really don't. I feel like the Undertaker and Bray Wyatt is going to be like the main event, really, and I'm just going to fast forward to see who wins in the end. Because Brock Lesnar, I've never been. I just can't enjoy him, and I really like Paul Heyman. I think he's awesome. He's like a magician on the microphone, but sometimes it's just too much, and I can't listen to him. And I'm sure a lot of people are saying the same thing about me right now because I have a speech impediment ever since I got my wisdom teeth taken out. But I'm sorry, it's not my fault. I please do not listen to me if you don't enjoy my vocal my vocal sounds. But I know why Paul Heyman's there, because Brock Lesnar can't talk and he sounds like an 8-year-old boy. But I just don't care about him as a wrestler. Maybe it's because I haven't heard from him, can't connect to him. I don't know what it is. But in Roman Reigns, I like him as a person, and every time I see him on an interview, I'm like, that guy's so nice, he's really cool. He's got like a pretty good look, but he's kind of just like The Rock mixed with like, I don't know, Tarzan. It just it's not interesting to me. And I don't think he can wrestle real well. I shouldn't say that. He can wrestle better than I can. He's a professional wrestler, and he's done this forever. He's good at what he does, but it's just compared to other guys, he's not that great. And I think it's kind of being forced down our throats. I know everyone says that, but I just don't really care about Roman Reigns. I think a lot of wrestlers need like a character makeover, and I think he would be one of them. And I know I'm smiling all the time now on Raw and touching people's hands and being cool, so people start to like him. But even that feels forced. So this whole time, both of these guys, I'm just like, I just don't care. So I guess if I had to pick one, I'd say Roman Reigns because I just want Brock Lesnar to go away.
All right. Now, how about this big matchup? It's Sting versus Triple H. Sting's first time in the WWE, his first match at WrestleMania. What's happening? What do you want to happen?
I want Sting to win because he's awesome, and I really wish he would. He's probably too old for this now, and he doesn't really want to risk too much. But I just wish he'd go up in the rafters again and like be a creep and stare down at everybody and make a cool entrance. But I think he'll win because although Triple H is always if that happens, that means Triple H just continues to lose against everyone they want to put over. But Sting is always already over because he's Sting. So I think. If he lost, it would just be a rip-off because it's like you're bringing him back for what reason? To slap him in the face in front of everyone? I think he'll win unless he's coming back. It seems like he's not really coming back. It's just kind of like for WrestleMania. But if he was to come back and be like wrestling on Raw and SmackDown, then I think there's a chance he could lose so that they could start a storyline. But if that's not going to happen, I think he'll win and Triple H will lose.
Okay, now this is a new one. Rusev, a newcomer in the WWE, versus John Cena. What do you think about that?
I think it's cool. I like both these guys. And John Cena took me like 5 years to win me over. I just didn't like him. I was like, he's a jock, and I'm not into him. And I got beat up a lot in high school, so he kind of reminded me of like every guy that beat me up, and that's partly why I'm like. I'm raging all the time now, and I want to become a wrestler maybe because I want to get redemption for myself. But he reminded me of so many people I did not like in high school. But now I think I've matured a little bit. I can see past things. I think he's a really good wrestler. I do like his color schemes, even though I'm color dumb and can't really see colors too well. But he kind of seems like, in a way, a new Hulk Hogan. He's got all like the bright blues and reds going on. So I like his throwback shirt a lot. But that should be why I like him because of his clothes. I just think he's a little too pro-America for me, and it's kind of like embarrassing in my opinion. But I think I don't know. I like both of them. I like Rusev a lot. And also Rusev came from Knox Pro where I'm training. He came from Rikishi's training school, so that's kind of cool. So I kind of like am biased, I guess, a little bit. I think he'll win. I think John Cena will win because I think WWE is realizing that so many people are hating John Cena right now, and maybe they'll have him win to have him. It seems like the cheapest way to put him back over is to have the guy from another country because ignorant Americans don't like other countries and they just want to yell USA. So we put John Cena up against that guy, and then you just have to root for John Cena because you can't root for the guy from Russia or Bulgaria. So I think John Cena will win. I think Lana's going to be involved. I don't really care, I guess, who wins as long as Lana gets involved because she's a freaking babe. I am so into Lana. So, yeah. I'll say John Cena, but I have no idea.
All right. Now, this match...
These answers are real long. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. We want to get your thoughts on it, so this is what we're doing.
Okay, cool.
Now, the one match that could possibly steal the show, the Intercontinental Championship match, the ladder match.
Yeah.
With, Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, Stardust, Wade Barrett, R-Truth, Luke Harper, and Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose, oh yeah.
And now, what are your thoughts on this? Is it going to steal the show, or what do you want?
Definitely. I can tell now. I can see it on Twitter already. People saying Intercontinental match, ladder match, best match. And everybody does like the Intercontinental match. It's kind of like, not the underdog match, but it's like the other big match. And because of that, because it's not the main event, these guys are working so much harder. Not that the main event doesn't work real hard, but these guys are trying to prove themselves so that they can then someday get to the main event. So it's like you kind of just appreciate them more for some weird reason. It's like backwards how that works, I guess. But I think it'll steal the show, and I feel like Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler will definitely kill it. That's for sure. And I've talked to Dolph in the past about like when he was wanting to do the whole thing with Daniel Bryan, and it just seems like such a smart move because going up against. It's just like two baby faces going at it. It's like you just want to like yell yes for both guys, and it just gets you so pumped, and you're not upset with whoever wins or loses. It's just a win-win situation, and both of those guys go so hard. Have you seen them like it was like last Monday at Raw, and they were just like going. Man, they were going so hard. It was awesome. They put on such a good show, and Dolph I know was real hungry. So I think no matter what, he'll sell the heck out of that match if he's going to lose. If not, I hope not. We've had him winning recently, so I'm hoping that they have him win that and he'll get his title back. Cause I think he already was Intercontinental Champ like a couple of years ago. But I think it'll be down to, I don't know. It's a hard thing because there's so many people in there that you could see WWE wanting to push. Like Dean Ambrose, everyone loves Dean Ambrose. He's another fan favorite, so he could win. I think it could be between Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan, and Dolph Ziggler. I don't know who it will be though. I'm hoping for Dolph Ziggler, but don't tell him that.
All right. Now we're starting to wind down in the show, but before we get to our lightning round, I have one last thing I want to ask you: is that if you had a match at WrestleMania and you had a chance to cut a promo backstage before you head out there to the big, the showcase of the Immortals, could you give us a promo that you would give before you had your match at WrestleMania? Can I put you on the spot right now just to give us, your WrestleMania promo?
Yeah, I can try something. Geez, what to talk about? There's so many things about myself to mention.
Yeah, so let's put you in the championship match going against Brock Lesnar. Now, I know you don't care for him too much, but this is your time to shine. Give us a promo right before you head out in the main event for WrestleMania.
Okay. Hey, Brock Lesnar, or should I say Brock Leisure, because where the heck have you been? You're not showing up every day like I am. You're not punching that clock. I'm punching the clock, and I'm punching all my pals out here. We're working hard. We're dripping in sweat. Where are you? What are you getting your fight shorts ironed? You getting stuff dry cleaned? Because no one sees you. Therefore, no one cares about you. You know who they do see? They see me, Keith Apicary. And I'm bringing the Apicary 24/7, 365 on every planet there is. That's right. I'm harnessing the power of the warrior. I'm going to other worlds. I'm training. I'm throwing down. I'm pumping like Friday night. And I am ready for you, Brock Lesnar. Unless Paul Heyman shows up, then I don't really want anything to do with you because I don't do well with creepy bald men. Oh, no, wait a second. I am too one of them. But that's okay. You know what? Just meet me in the ring. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Perfect, Keith. Perfect.
Lightning round.
What is the best wrestling video game?
Oh, by far, Royal Rumble on Sega Genesis.
All right, now, what accessories would a Keith Apicary action figure come with?
A backup pair of tidy whities, Nintendo Power Glove, and a Virtual Boy.
Okay.
If you know what a Virtual Boy is.
Absolutely. Who would your dream WrestleMania opponent be against? Anybody past, present, alive, dead, whoever you want.
Ooh, Dolph Ziggler.
All right. Hustle, loyalty, respect is John Cena's motto. What is Keith Apicary's motto?
Muscle, oily, what rhymes with respect? I only do things that rhyme. So oily, dissect. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do to them. I'm going to use my muscles that are oily to dissect.
All right. Now, there's a lot of great wrestling themes out there. What would your WWE entrance theme be?
Okay, this is easy. The Neo Geo song, which is my song, and the music was created by Phantom NK, a Swedish chiptune artist, real cool guy. Never see his face because he keeps it covered up. He's a mystery. So I use that song, or the song called Friends by another chiptune artist called Shaw Drew. And that song is actually in my newest WWE-related video that I think will be out in a couple weeks. and it actually features a WWE superstar that we all know, and some of us don't really want to know, but I do. So watch for that one. But yeah, one of those two songs. It's definitely a video game related chiptune song that gets people pumped up and ready to rage.
All right. Now, when you make it to the WWE, what is the first championship you will go after?
Oh, jeez. Well, I was really into the internet belt that they had a while ago, but I don't know what happened to that belt. Since I kind of came from the internet, I thought that would be cool. And I don't know if technically or legally I'm allowed to be the world heavyweight champion, since I'm not a heavyweight. I only weigh 150 pounds. But I'd probably just take all of them and duct tape them together and be the king of the ring in all aspects.
You're out there. We've heard about some of your awesome videos. We saw your audition tape. Where can fans keep up with you and find out more about Keith Apicary?
All of my stuff is documented and loaded onto YouTube under this man who started the documentary series on me, Talking Classics, which is where people first found out about me. It's on his YouTube channel. And his name is Nathan Barnett. But if you just search for Keith Apicary on YouTube, you'll find me. And just click on that username and you can find everything else.
Keith,
so, yeah.
Sure, yeah. Keith, I mean, we only scratched the surface, I think, with talking about wrestling with you. It's WrestleMania weekend. We're excited. We're so appreciative to talk to you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, guys. And I kind of feel like this is a seal of approval for me. I'm like, this is my first wrestling podcast I've been on. And it's like I'm a little nervous kind of, treading water here in this whole wrestling world because I come from the video game world, which is a whole different place. So I'm just kind of happy you guys even asked me because, I'm here to stay and I'm going to mess people up, that's for sure. So hopefully this gets my name out there in the wrestling world. And this is a really cool podcast that I actually enjoy. So it's cool for me to say I did it. So thank you.